Boys and girls, welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys and girls, I am all sorts of excited to talk to you. We're going to do the phone calls coming in. I want to hear your thoughts on how free agency is going. If you guys haven't been here before, you get 3 minutes on the clock. And after 3 minutes, you guys know what it is. You get the chicken.
That's it! You're out of here!
That's right. I'm excited to chop it up with you boys and girls. We got a lot of stuff to go over. Bryce Huff winds up signing with the Philadelphia Eagles. 3 years, $51 million. Joe Douglas asleep at the wheel. What's going on with our offensive line? We haven't solved anything yet. Jet fans are pulling their hair out. And I'm here to say, I'm there with you. This is baloney. This is absolute crap. I want to see stuff done. There's no urgency. There doesn't feel like there is any kind of urgency from Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh right now. And maybe I shouldn't be panicking because the moves we generally make on day one of free agency don't tend to work out for us. Generally speaking, when we do the free agent stuff on the first day of free agency, you get a Jared Davis, you get a Laken Tomlinson, you get a CJ Uzomah, you get Alan Lazard, who was would be, I guess, tomorrow's equivalent. I think he was a Tuesday signing last year. So maybe not the best thing to do is jump out and get players going right off the bat. I don't think so. I think that's probably not the best way to go about it. But hey, we'll figure it all out and we'll get through it together. All right. You know what? Let's go to the chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the chat. We'll go through that. And then at 9:15, we'll go over to the phone calls and I'll get some of your thoughts there. Prestige says free agent frenzy, and we're not a part of it. That's crap. I don't know what's going on, but clearly we are not a part of this, which is super, super frustrating. Let's see. Someone tipped JD's bed over. He's fallen asleep. He did not wake up for daylight savings time, is what it seems like. Someone needs a wellness check on JD. Malone says free agent frenzy. Yeah, I made the free agent frenzy title prior to anything not happening, unfortunately. I apologize. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Let's see. We've got Hawk. Nope. You go like Hawk. Don't ruin an already crappy night with your Zach stuff. Hawk, what are you trying to do? Trying to talk about some Zach Wilson stuff? I don't think it's going to happen. Let's see. How can you be excited, Ryan? I'm always excited. Always excited. Sam, I see you calling in. I'm going to keep you in the green room for right now, and then I'll bring you on momentarily. Zachary says, I want to know what the plan is, and all the calls will be so negative. That's because people just don't understand the plan. We're going after Bakhtiari. We're going after MVS. We're going after Aaron Jones. It's going to be the New York Packers or the Green Bay Jets. Or what? I guess New York Packers is probably where we're at. Whatever. Not great. I could see where people might be slightly upset. Malone says, fire everyone now. Armani AD. Tar and feather JD now. Calvin drops a little JETS. Thank you so much. Boys and girls, drop some JETS. And if you'd like to see something happen tonight, something happen at all. Famous Jay comes in and says, relax, take a puff. The signings will come. Well, boys and girls, if you have not done so already, and you would like to support the sponsor of the channel, Crescent Canna. Link is in the description down below if you guys want to get yourself some stuff to help take the edge off while you wait for the Jets to sign anything. They got some great THC seltzers, THC gummies, THC syrup. Crazy stuff going on over there. But you can head down if you want to get yourself get you some gear. Armani says, if tomorrow is as sad as today as I'm done with JD, does that mean are we upset that we're not getting as much stuff done in free agency? Or is it because there's still some big players out there. Is anyone upset that we didn't sign a $100 million deal for Robert Hunt? I'm not losing any sleep over that. Obviously, Brewer goes to Miami, I think is where I saw that go. I'm a little frustrated with seeing 𝐒𝐿umenor go to the Giants, although I told you guys that was probably going to happen. His offensive line coach went from Vegas to the Giants, so that made a ton of sense. And then you see Brian Burns get traded over there. Crazy town. They got a whole bunch going on right now. Tyrone says, hey, Ryan, checking in on your good content. Hey, Tyrone. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. It very much means a lot. Blitz Crew, coming in the super chat. Thanks, Blitz. Says, this start makes me think we are going Tyron Smith or Bakhtiari. Which wide receiver are we adding? A mystery. Which wide receiver we are adding is a mystery to me. Glad Zuerlein is back. Hit those milk thumbs. Hit those milk thumbs, boys and girls. So I am very glad Zuerlein's back. For $4.1 million a year, I think it was. What was it? $8.2 million, I think, was the deal he wound up signing. I think I have it pulled up on the... Yeah, bam! Zuerlein, 2 years, $8.4 million. Bryce Huff winds up leaving, 3 years, $51 million. Frustrating. As far as Tyron Smith and Bakhtiari, I completely agree. I think that's definitely the route the Jets are trying to go right now. And I would be stunned if it's not Bakhtiari. If the knee checks out and they seem like, hey, we're good, it's okay, it's Aaron Rodgers' buddy, he wants his blind side protected, well, let's go get the guy he wants that he'll have confidence in. Now, if Bakhtiari's healthy, I don't think anyone's upset with this move at all. I think everyone would be fine with it. It's that what if. So are you confident enough that you think you can get multiple starts, like a whole season out of this guy? How much are you giving him in guaranteed money? Is it going to be some type of bonus per game played, which is what I think should probably happen? And then the next side of things is, do you have a backup plan for if he goes down? So in my mind, I don't want AVT playing the other tackle. If you go after a Bakhtiari, AVT better be the guard that you have to emergency pull out of guard to go to tackle in the event Carter Warren is not good enough to go after that left tackle spot, assuming Bakhtiari were to get hurt at some point during the season. And I don't love that, because like if they're trying to pencil in AVT at a tackle spot and we're going to go with a weapon on that first, number 10 overall pick, now it's like, I don't know. I'm not frustrated with Bakhtiari because I do like the upside, and I've been arguing that the upside from bringing someone in like a Bakhtiari is similar to that of the 49ers getting Trent Williams a few years ago. Had a bunch of injury concerns, wasn't sure what was going to go on. They traded a 4th round pick. They got him. He's one of the best tackles in the damn league. So I think this makes a crazy ton of sense as well. So we'll see where that all shakes out. But we are at that 2:15 mark. So let's go over to Sam right now. And Sam, how are you feeling tonight?
Another day, another Monday. Another feels like we just lost last night. So
it feels like last night or tonight. You mean like it just doesn't feel
both though. It's like it feels like the Monday after losing a game that you should have probably won.
I feel
disappointment all around.
I can understand that. I can certainly understand
feeling that we're all used to.
Now, is there a move that's been made so far that you wish the Jets would have made, or are you upset that the Jets haven't made a move for a player that's already out there?
It's one of the 2 players the Patriots signed just in the past 2 hours. Get one
Jacoby
of those guys,
Brissett?
either Brissett or the lineman. It seems like they're getting better. We're kind of staying where we're at. We're trying to play bargain ball for, cheap deals. I mean, credit to Joe Douglas holding firm on his, the money he wants to spend, but we've got money that can be made. We've got restructures that can be done, cut some guys, but I'm kind of glad he's not going out and spending $100 million on a guard right away.
That's what I was going to say. I was like the whole, I forgot to throw the timer on the clock. So bam, timer's on the clock. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't want to spend $100 million on Robert Hunt. And I don't like, there's none of the deals that have come out so far are deals that I'm like overly upset with right now.
It almost feels like I just want someone to be signed. Kind of that impatient, we've got Aaron Rodgers here coming off an Achilles injury, and we've got 2 pylons, basically at this point, 2 pylons and tackles trying to block for him. And it's, kind of rush to keep your quarterback healthy in a sense.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I feel like it's the knee-jerk reaction of fans that are just like, I want to move just to see a move happen. Like, I'm so frustrated with how the season ended. I want to see you go out and fix it. Like, the same thing that happened with Breece Hall goes down, we go out and get James Robinson. AVT goes down, we go out and get a Roger Saffold. Even though neither of those moves did anything at all, That was meaningful. It still felt like, okay, we're at least doing something. We're appeasing the fans. And maybe that's why like they're not doing it and they're like, no, we're going to do it the right way this time, where those guys didn't do it.
I'm hoping they go after like maybe trade for like Deontay Johnson or Cortland Sutton. Because I heard Denver might be interested in Zach Wilson. If you can get a trade to get him to Denver and then get Cortland Sutton back, it depends on what Sam Darnold does. Because Darnold's got contracts with both teams right now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big, interesting thing that winds up going down, because how attractive is trading for Zach Wilson when you can go out and get someone like a Sam Darnold or like, some of these other, quarterbacks that could be out there. I don't know how much value he's actually got right now.
I think Wilson has like you trade him in a sixth or him in a seventh for a sixth or something like that. You're not gonna get much for him, but something's better than nothing.
Yeah, right. At that point, it's like, let's get anything. Let's unload. Even if you have to eat the roster bonus, it would be like a $4 million roster bonus that you have to eat, and then you wind up having a situation where you're not you're only making $1 million back. You're getting $1 million in salary, but it's still better than not having any salary go over there. So I don't know. It's super frustrating to see how it all played out and how I think it's going to play out. I guess I don't know. It gets me mad.
It'll be an interesting next couple days, I guess. Hopefully something maybe happens later tonight or early tomorrow morning to get everyone's spirits up. But
fingers crossed, brother. Any last words before I eject you from the cockpit?
Let's just make sure it's nothing stupid. Spend the money smart and make sure Aaron Rodgers stays upright for, what would it be, 20 games next year?
Fingers crossed, baby. Fingers crossed. You have been ejected. Oh, is it going? Where's my chicken? There's my chicken. And it's frozen.
That's it! You're out of here!
Oh, it's all right. That's all right. All right, we got a bunch of phone calls. I see you guys in the green room. We're going to go over to Connor right now. Connor, how you doing, brother?
How you doing tonight, Ryan?
I'm hanging in there. I like that jersey behind you. Love Wayne Corbett.
Thank you. I have, let's see, can I get the, I have a Garrett Wilson one, too. I've actually moved my setup down in my basement, so I have, like, a sack exchange photo I'm putting up, signed by all the guys, and then I have, Wesley Walker sent me a signed jersey that I'm going to put up, and then I have a bunch of Wesley Walker signed photos. I'll give away some when I hit 500 subs, but, I mean, the Jets news is a little, like, yeah, you're right when you look at the signings, and, like, his signings haven't been great on the first day, and, like, the two guys I liked were Jacoby Brissett and Onwenu. And obviously both those guys, Onwenu goes back to the Pats, and then Jacoby Brissett signs with the Pats. But, it's a little frustrating just to see Joe Douglas not even really being aggressive. And one thing about, before we get back to free agency, I love the guest. I think his name was it Devin Jackson, the guy you just had on the
yeah, from the Philadelphia Inquirer.
show.
If you guys didn't check out the Talking Jets draft show, Dom C and I had Devin Jackson, draft guy from Philadelphia. Definitely worth the watch, by the way. Sorry, Connor.
Yeah, he was a you're good. He was a great guest. But yeah, I mean, just Jets content wise, I mean, I guess I've been good. I launched my own show actually with Joseph every
Very
Wednesday.
cool.
I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that. You reached out to me. I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, it was. It's gonna be fun. We had
I'm
Antoine
basically
Staley
Tinder
on.
for Jets fans. I got you guys together, and it's like, oh, there you go. I don't know if you know Tinder. Tinder's a dating app and whatnot.
Of course, yeah, I know Tinder.
So what are your thoughts on free agency right now? Like, what's going on? Like, why are we dragging our feet? Like, are you upset with it? Did you kind of expect it?
I expected it. Kaz said it to Boy Green when he was on Boy Green's show. I think last week it might have been. And I feel like I love Jet fans, but I feel like I was the only one that expected Bryce Huff to leave.
We've all been saying Bryce Huff's gone.
No. No, my bad. Let me retract that. I felt like
come on, Connor.
Everyone knew Bryce Huff was going to leave, but no one really expected it to come today. I feel like really out of anyone, no one expected it. Right when free agency opens, sign with the Eagles. I was talking to Matt about it for an hour on my show earlier today, and happy free agency starts because it's the first free agency with my channel now, and I just feel like a lot of people are going to be more intrigued because I feel like the last like 2 weeks after the
boring.
season ends. It was kind of like just like busy content, like stalling. Not
It's
really,
been
but
speculation on what's going to happen. It's a rumor. It's a fart in the wind. What did you hear over there? Like that's what's going on.
Yeah, but I hit
Connor,
my,
any last words? You got 3 seconds.
Hit my record live viewers today, 858.
You have been ejected from the cockpit. Connor, Ryan's going to be ruthless tonight. That's all right. That's all right. Boys and girls, if you'd like to call in, the call-in number is pinned to the live chat. You could call in. You get 3 minutes on the clock. After 3 minutes, I eject your ass. From 3 Steph Gaming says, I'm angry we haven't done much yet. Me too. I just want moves to happen just for moves to happen. That's not what I'm saying you want, but it's definitely something that I would like to see happen. We've got Andrew coming in with a super chat. Thank you so much. Says, I think JD is going to move us back in the draft now that there are teams that need quarterbacks, but I hated watching all the moves made by everyone else today except us. Day 2 needs to be big. So we need to get offensive linemen first and foremost. Is it going to be a Bakhtiari? Are we signing him immediately? Are we going after maybe some lower tier guys and then bringing a Bakhtiari a little bit later? Is there going to be an Aaron Jones signing? Is there going to be MVS signing or something like that? It's going to be interesting to see how the Jets decide to handle this, how much money gets allocated, and how much gets restructured. I think it's a lot to see. As far as trading down, I'm on board with trading down. I like the idea of trading down. I don't know what happens with Justin Fields, how that plays into the idea of a trade down, because I think there's going to be some teams out there that would like to roll the dice on him in a backup capacity. But I don't know. It's going to be fascinating to see where that ultimately ends up shaking out. All right, let's go back to the calls. We've got Joe joining the line. Joe, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, Ryan, what's up?
Not too much. How you feeling about free agency so far?
Well, listen, everybody's panicking about Joe Douglas. You know, I've been at this game for a long time watching this. And I'll tell you what, after last year, we went out like suckers. You think Joe Douglas ain't going to do nothing? You think he's going to sit around and do absolutely nothing?
Maybe that is what he's doing. Hey, he's clearly missed daylight savings time. Or did you not see all the tweets?
Listen, so far he did not too bad with signing Chuck Clark, because I think he's a good player. Mm-hmm. Chuck Clark's a tackling machine. I'm glad we signed him. Mm-hmm. And Olivier's, a decent veteran in case one of our corners get hurt. And Craig Zerline was big. He's one of the best kickers in the NFL. So, he's taking care of the little things, right? I think soon the big things are going to fall in place with free agency and trades. And I do like the signing of Bakhtiari. I think he kind of be like an Alan Faneca when he came to the Jets.
Like a second,
maybe give you one good year.
Yeah, sort of have that second coming of
exactly.
Yeah, I would be on board with that. The scariest part is the 5 knee surgeries. I know Green Bean and Matt have been beating me senseless about this. You can't do that. He's old. He's injured. He's great when he's on the field, but. And I'm just saying, top 5 tackles also don't hit the open market ever. So that you got to roll the dice. There's always some degree of inherent risk when you go after someone with as much skill as Bakhtiari, but it's because there's risk in the injury. And if this knee, which he was talking about back in September as being fixed due to this new surgery, and maybe he knew he was going to get cut and he's trying to make free agent money, all that, blah, 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 whatever. I would like to roll the dice on him.
Hey, listen, what's the chances of us drafting or even getting in free agency somebody like, be honest, Trent Williams? I mean, Trent Williams is going to be in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. It's not easy drafting an offensive lineman that has Hall of Fame talent, because you look over the last 10 years, there ain't a lot of great, offensive linemen in this league. There isn't. It's very good, but great. So, like you said, Ryan, if Bakhtiari's around, why not take a chance for a year or two? What do you got to lose?
Especially if it's
what did they just have to lose?
If it's an incentive-laden deal and you're not on the hook for guaranteed money, I think there's a valuable argument for Bakhtiari.
Yeah, exactly. And as for the backup quarterback, I'm glad we didn't get Jacoby Brissett. He's nobody. Please,
who do you
what's
want?
he going to do?
Who do you want?
Honestly, I think Sam Darnold would have been a nice re-signing.
Sam Darnold?
Maybe you never know. Maybe he can learn something on Aaron Rodgers.
Joe, you have been ejected from where's my chicken? Come on, chicken. I've got too many tabs open. That's all right. The chicken frozen on the screen. Oh, it's okay. We're going to go over to Charles. Charles, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Ryan. How are you doing?
I'm a little impatient, but other than that, I don't know. I'm all right. Talk to me. How are you feeling about free agency right now?
I had a wonderful weekend. I feel all right. I'm happy we re-signed Chuck Clark and Greg the Leg Zerline especially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know much about Isaiah Oliver, but I heard he's a decent player, which is fine.
I think he'll be a replacement for a Hardy.
As for that's true. Yeah. I was impressed though with the Giants trading for Brian Burns. That was a great trade.
I think it was wild how they were able to get a second and a fifth, I think is what it ultimately wound up being. And it's a monster deal. It's what, 5 years, 150, 30 million a year. Man, the Panthers got to feel like dum-dums. They had a second-round pick and 2 first-round picks on the table that they could have taken. And between trading up for Bryce Young and not trading Brian Burns, they are not well run. And that's coming from a pretty shit organization right now and how we've been run historically over the last, before this regime even. They're just not running well.
Yeah, that's true. But so far, I'm not surprised, maybe Joe Douglas is waiting for the right time or the right offer, or maybe thinking about the right offer. Look, I understand a lot of Jet fans are impatient, which is no surprise to me because we're a bunch of impatient some bitches. Because we haven't had a playoff team since 2010. We haven't had a winner since 1968, 1969. And I'm just keeping it cool for now, I'm just keeping it cool,
You're keeping it cool. You're keeping it ejected, Charles. You have been ejected from the cockpit.
You're out of here!
None of this type stuff. I got people on the line. Let's go over to Mutt Viles. Mutt Viles, how you doing tonight?
Keeping it cool? I ain't keeping it cool. But all
losing my cool.
Bro, I ain't keeping it cool, bro. I'm watching our cross hometown rivals trying to make themselves a playoff team with Danny Derps, a copy of Eli Manning back there at the helm.
Dude,
come on, do something.
Mutt Viles, best defensive line in New York.
Resign,
is it the Jets or the Giants now?
Oh, that Giants front three is nasty now with Brian Burns. I love that trade.
Yeah, I'm a big Burns fan.
Bro. Now have a freaking quarterback to actually do something. Oh, they're going to be fine. They need a QB or receiver, in my opinion. Giants are fine.
If I were the Giants, I would trade up for Penix back into the first round.
Well, Michael Penix? I think you were talking about that earlier when I was in the stream.
Yeah. I would trade up for Penix if I were the Giants. Or the Vikings at the back end of the first... Like, the back end of the first round is where I think he should go.
What am I feeling the Vikings are going to try to trade with, like, the Commanders or something, or, like, in the top 10? Like, somehow they're going to do it. I just have that feeling they're going to do it.
Maybe there's a situation
the only other person I can see is Justin Fields, and that's not happening in Minnesota.
No, definitely. Where do you think Fields goes?
Where do you think Fields goes?
At this point, I don't know. Minnesota's the only one that makes sense. Besides, like, Washington, New England, maybe. But I can't see a new head coach, though, trying to go with a guy that you only have 2 years left, that you have to prove that he's a top 10 or top 15 pick when you just trade someone away who's in the same draft class. I know Fields is better than Mac Jones, but that's just me, though. I wouldn't do it.
Dude, I would much rather have Mac Jones on my team than have...
Then they can trade out and get whoever they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I definitely don't want... I would roll the dice on Mac... Or I would roll... Not Mac Jones. I would roll the dice on Justin Fields over, like... I don't know. There's going to be some team that misses out on a quarterback that they want, or they want a stopgap in between. I just don't... I I feel bad for the guy because like the city of Chicago
I just want
seems
to,
to
do something at
love
this point.
Fields. And then all of a sudden they're going to draft this guy, Caleb Williams, number 1 overall, which I don't know if that's necessarily a lock to happen because there's been rumors about him
He's
possibly
gonna be a
not.
bust. I don't know why everyone's hyping him up.
I'm not going to call him a bust, but the personality rubs me the wrong way. The rumors of him not wanting to play for Chicago rubs me the wrong way, and Fields wanting to be there. Like that definitely like drives me a little bonkers.
I just don't like Caleb. I don't. To me, he's not going to be that good, especially the way he played in the back end of his USC career. I just don't like it.
Mobiles, you've been ejected from the cockpit. You're out of here. Mobiles, your internet was rough. I don't know if that was just me or if I'm lagging over here, but that was rough. We're going to go over to Rich. Rich, how you doing tonight, brother?
I want to say I'm doing well, but I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off.
So what do you think's going on with the Jets free agency? We haven't made any moves really. What's the plan?
Well, come the draft, we're going to get a good tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little worried about trading down. I'd like to trade down and recoup some picks.
Sure.
But I think Olu Fashanu and I think Joe Alt are great prospects. And if we're going to sacrifice the quality to move back, I don't know. It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm glad I'm not making the decision. But I think we're going to get a good tackle in the draft. But where are these other 2 offensive linemen coming from, man? We need the offensive line now to compete. If we don't fix these 2 holes or these 3 holes, we'll get 1 hole fixed. If we don't fix the other 2, that's not good. That's not good. What are your thoughts?
I really
Ryan?
like what the Giants did. They got Runyon and they got 𝐿umenor, and those 2 signings were like, man, I wish the Jets could have come away with that. And that's the benefit of having a coach that coached 𝐿umenor. Like that's the benefit. The Giants made the switch in an offensive line coach. The Jets could have done it with Carter, pulling 𝐿umenor. It's not like the Giants like regime is on any less hot of a seat than the Jets regime is. They're both probably equally as hot. If they blow shit the bed this year, they could definitely all be out next season. So like,
man.
If I think the Jets are heading towards 𝐂𝐿𝐷𝐼 at left tackle, I really do.
That's my worst night. So I'm a physical therapy student, and
Oh no! Don't ruin my dreams of potentially having 𝐂𝐿𝐷𝐼 healthy again. What are your thoughts on him?
I do not want him, man. Without AVT, very important. Let me just. So AVT, he's had some freak injuries, different parts of the body, not all in the same knee, the same surgically repaired knee. For David Bakhtiari on our turf, like what? I don't know if what the freaking hell are we thinking? Even considering signing him? That's just asking for a freaking nightmare disaster. Please stay away. Please, I want Fashanu really badly in the draft. I really wanted Onwenu or Hunt. They're both getting paid a lot of money. I don't know if we have the money, but I don't know where we go from here, man. I'm sad. I'm glad that I got to come vent on here because I'm hurting.
Now, what about like a Jonah Williams or something like that? It's not super sexy, but it's like a guy that can play left tackle, a guy that can play right tackle. Gives you a little flexibility there for whatever player falls to you at number 10.
It's all about the money. If the money's there, I'm all for it. He has versatility. I'd be happy with it. I think we're gonna have to overpay for him, and that's not great. So we'll see. Guys, give AVT AVT is a great player. He needs to be. I think he can play tackle. I'm hoping he goes into guard so that he doesn't have to move around as much because I think that could.
You're ejected, brother Rich. Thank you so much for the call. See, I want to give people a little bit more time, but at the same time, I have so much fun with the chicken. The chicken it's just such a nice way to get cut off. Boys and girls, if you're enjoying the stream, hit that like button. It goes a long way towards supporting the channel. If you want to call in, I should probably throw this on the screen. Bam! Click the pinned comment in the live chat or scan the QR code in the bottom part of the screen right here, and you guys can call in. You get 3 minutes on the clock. After 3 minutes, I eject you. We're going to go over to Andy. Andy, how you doing tonight, brother? Whoops, sorry, I hit the wrong button.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Give me 1 second. I hit the wrong button. There we go. You're back.
What's up, dude? How's it going?
Good. I'm hanging in there. It's not a very eventful free agency to start for the New York Jets, but I don't hate some of the deals that have been signed. Like, I'm a little irritated by 𝐿umenor going to the Giants, but offensive line coach was there. So it kind of makes sense to me. Like, I'm not upset about missing out on Hunt or some of these other big contracts. How are you feeling about free agency right now?
I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat with you, man. I'm a little bit frustrated, but then I kind of start to think, like, were all these guys really worth the money that they were getting? Are they really gonna move the needle so much, or are we more so just like panicked that we just need something right away? You know what I mean?
The answer's
So
yes.
like for me, I don't mind. I don't mind, waiting a little bit. I am kind of against the David Bakhtiari thing simply because of the injuries.
I understand it. I just think everyone's wrong.
No, dude, I want to be wrong. Like, if he comes in and he can be healthy and he can play 15, 16 games for us, I mean, what the hell? Why not? We could be the Packers of the East. Why not? You know what I mean? So
much
I
better
like that,
defense
but
over
also I like Tyron. Oh yeah, I agree, and I also like Tyron Smith, man. I don't know how you feel about that, but I know he's a little bit older. I do too, and I think now that he's still on the market and everything's kind of went and gone in a flash. So now we can kind of sit back.
How long do you think that first wave of free agency is? Is it just like day one, or is it like the first 2-3 days and then like that second wave hits? Because like, is it still deemed like an early signing, or maybe like more of an overpay if we were to sign like a Tyron Smith tomorrow or Wednesday, or is that still like? I mean, I'm curious.
At this point, man, I don't think it would be an overpay strictly because the pot's not as hot. You know what I mean? So it's like you better get some guys in there because now we're dependent on the draft. But also, I want to throw this out there. We're kind of giving Joe Douglas, a hard time, but at the same time, we got to look about how he drafts and what he does on draft nights and how exciting he is on draft nights. So I think there's something up his sleeve, and I think come draft night, if we don't make another huge splash, I think that he's going to pull some tricks out on draft night.
See, I'm hoping. I still want to see the 12 pick and the 10 pick get flip-flop. We get a Cortland Sutton or something like that, and then we sit back and we get our tackle. Or maybe there's a situation where you can make a trade for Garrett Bowles in the same way. Probably a little far-fetched at this point. Maybe Denver doesn't want to do us anything because we have Nathaniel Hackett, and screw that guy over there. That's probably where that's going to land. I don't know. Is there one player out there right now? Like, is Tyron Smith your one guy, or is there one other player out there that you're interested in?
I mean, at this moment in time, I think either him or even Aaron Jones now. I think that now that he's on the open market, if we could maybe get
Andy, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejaculated. Oh man, ejaculated. I had a premature ejaculation before on him, and I apologize about that. Julian, I'm working on it. I'm trying to work my way through this. Julian says, what do you think of Breece Hall tweeting out about the offensive line signings? Also, when will Zach Wilson get traded? I think he will be a Bronco. So I did see Breece's tweet about the offensive line signings, and I think it's a pretty damning indictment when you're wide receiver, running back, freaky combo running back, Breece Hall, is coming out and saying like, yo, get some fucking fatties in front of me because I'm done with this crap. I don't want to run behind Mekhi Becton and Laken Tomlinson. Give me someone that's baseline average. And I'm going to 2K this league this year. That's what Breece Hall's saying right now. And as far as Zach going to the Broncos, dude, if you could trade Zach to the Broncos and like throw them a pick, like if he's a throw-in for something, whether it's there or the Vikings, I think one of those two is where he's ultimately going to end up. We've got Steven joining the show. Steven, how you doing, brother?
I'm not good.
Because he lost Aaron Jones? If you guys don't know, Steven's a Packers fan, and that's all right. We allow Packers fans over here. So you lose Aaron Jones. You don't like the signing of Josh Jacobs?
I was happy for like 30 minutes. Thinking that
I saw people freaking out.
And then I checked my phone and it says, Packers released Aaron Jones. I'm like, you're kidding. I don't believe this. And then I see it pop up on the TV. And it's official. And I'm just like, we got Josh Jacobs, but at what cost?
Oh, man. And that wasn't like a super cheap contract either. That was $12 million a year, I think.
I mean,
4 years?
That's similar to the contract they gave Aaron Jones a couple years ago. But I mean, I understand the dude had injury problems. I mean, look, I saw it with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, Josh Jacobs is younger, but Aaron Jones meant so much to the team. Sometimes it's not even about the contract and how good the player is. Sometimes it's about how the player meant to the team. And Aaron Jones, probably after Aaron Rodgers, was literally like a Green Bay Packer, like the definition of a Green Bay Packer. And if anything, that's the one guy who I wanted to like keep like for his whole career in Green Bay, or if he was gonna get moved in the back half of his career, similar to like the Aaron Rodgers trade, send him to a team for like a bag of picks and say good luck with the rest of your career.
It's tough because
mean,
like he had a pretty
finished
big
third in
contract.
like yards all time for the Packers. I mean,
I was gonna say I saw someone in the chat posting that they asked him to take a 50% pay cut. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and he was willing to do it, and they were literally having talks about deals and stuff, and it just fell through, and I don't know what happened because I don't know. It's like first you lose AJ Dillon, which okay, fine, I wasn't mad about that, but then I'm like, oh my goodness, we have the best running back duo again in the league, and that lasted for about like literally an hour, and then.
So now I want to ask you, since you're a Packers fan, it seems very likely the Jets are going to be bringing in David Bakhtiari. We're seeing pictures of Aaron Rodgers tweeting out a heart, and then there's them sitting on the edge of the field there, and Bakhtiari posts the highlights and everything. They're always tagged in everything's stuff. Do you think Bakhtiari to the Jets makes sense, and where do you fall on that, I guess?
I think it makes sense. I want it to happen just because those two are like best friends. But honestly, with your turf, I'm concerned for his knee.
I can understand that. Steven, thank you so much for your insight. You have been ejected from the cockpit. We're going to go over to Ricky from New York. Then we've got Joseph and then a Zach Wilson truther joining the show. But first, I want to get to Jonathan Moore, Super Chat. He says, JD acted like he got a 5-year extension. You know what this feels like to me? This feels like Joe Douglas and Robert Saleh know as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy, they're going to get another year. As long as he plays to the like average Aaron Rodgers. We're talking top 15. We're not even talking top 10 Aaron Rodgers. If he just plays top 15, this defense, the special teams, they're going to be just fine. And if he's not healthy, well, then they're all screwed. They all screwed the pooch. So maybe they just have so much confidence that Rodgers is not going to get hurt. They already feel like they've gotten their extension already. That's probably what it is. Oh, this is a good comment. Papa says, David Bakhtiari. Oh, that's a good one. All right, let's head over to Ricky from New York. Ricky, how you doing, brother?
I'm trying to hang in there, man, just like the rest of us. I don't like the way the O-line options are trembling quickly, it seems. And, man, I'm just worried that we're going to sit back and watch all the good free agents go, and then we're going to end up with some former Packer retread. I'd like to see if we get in on Higgins or Ridley or something, but I'm afraid we're going to end up, stuck with MVS or something. Ryan, what's the difference between MVS and CVS? CVS is always open.
No! Sick. I like that one.
Yeah, I thought of that this morning.
That's so
anyways, now I did hear that the Jets had called about both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. And, several teams have actually, but there have been some talks. And you know what? Dude, if we could get Keenan Allen to go with Rodgers for like a 4th round pick, score. I will be happy. I'll be able to, I will be able to overlook a lot of this. And, and Albert Breer said because of his age and he's on an expiring contract, the cost for him isn't going to be real high. So as upset as I am with the way things have started off, if that happens, it's going to go a long way into making me feel better about the situation we're in right now.
Yeah, when I look at the wide receiver landscape, I'm a little surprised Calvin Ridley didn't sign today. I'm wondering, Mike Williams to me feels like the receiver that's more likely to get cut by the Chargers. I feel like they're going to find a way to keep Allen there for the rest of his career. Like tie him in with Herbert for like 2 more years, do a Band-Aid. If you can trade for Allen I think would be the move to make. And then you get him, you align him with like a Rodgers contract. I think you're cooking with fire now. With Mike Williams, if he were to shake free, I don't want to trade for him, but I would be open to signing him as a free agent. I mean, I guess maybe it depends on trade value. Like if they're like, hey, we're going to cut him anyway, throw us a 7th round pick, maybe you make that decision. I wouldn't want him on his current contract. He'd have to restructure his contract for me to want to do that. But Mike Williams, there's the injury bug. He's had the ACL I think it was week 2 of the NFL season, so there's some inherent risk with that. Allen, though, he seems like he's always banged up a little bit, but he's so good all the time. Like I'd be willing to roll the dice on that as your wide receiver too.
Yeah, definitely. And real quick before my time runs out, I have heard us link to Quandre Diggs, and the free agent that I'm going to throw out there that I really want for the Jets is Derek Nottie from the Chiefs. Really good run stuffer, has some pass rush value. You know, he had that big sack of Trevor Lawrence in the playoffs year before last. But, dude, he's been in the league 6 years. He's been to 4 Super Bowls and won 3 of them. Happy to do the dirty work and free up Chris Jones to make plays and can do the same thing for Quinnen. Good, affordable free agent. That is a guy that we definitely, I think, need to be in on.
Ricky, thank you so much for the call. Good insight there. You have been ejected from the cockpit. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. We've got Joseph from Battery Bros podcast. Joseph, how you doing tonight? How was your first episode with Connor earlier this week?
Great. It was great, Ryan. Thank you. Hope to have you on sometime, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
I'm currently losing my mind right now. You know, Sleepy Joe needs to wake up and start making some moves. But although there are still some big names on the market, there's still Bakhtiari, which I don't know why everybody hates it. I know that need, I get it, but I want to sign him. When he's played, he's proven he is a quality left tackle, and him and Rodgers, they could link up. That'd be great. And I've said this about a million times, but Kevin Zeitler's still out there. I love him at right guard. He's a little older edge, but he is older, obviously. He's a free agent, so I don't think he's going to cost much. I think we could pick him up. That'd be great. So, we got O-line fixed. And as Ricky said, Derek Nottie, I like him too, but I'm really sad and depressed about the Foley Fatukasi. The reunion isn't happening.
Yeah, I was bummed to see him go to the Texans. I wonder if that's just like a little slight towards Robert Saleh. Like, oh yeah, you guys, you got rid of me, Joe Douglas. I think he spent 1 year with Saleh, if I'm not mistaken, and then 2 years down in Jacksonville.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah, he was with Saleh for a bit. Or I can't remember. I don't know. But
yeah, I think it was 1 year with Saleh.
But yeah, I'm sad about that. I'm gonna miss.
What'd you think of the Huff contract?
I think we could have paid that $17 million a year. Me and Connor were talking about that. 16, 17, 18 mil. I think actually put this on my story. A sad emoji with the post Huff made. I think we could have kept him for 16 mil, but I'm still so surprised we didn't even tag him.
I thought you could have been for the contract he got. There should have been some degree of interest in terms of trade. Like one of the first guys signed right out of the gate from Philadelphia, and you can't tell me Joe Douglas, who's from Philadelphia, didn't have any inkling that that's where he could potentially be going. Like there feels like a disconnect between what Joe Douglas was able to get for this.
Yeah. But yeah, and so we got a lot of holes to fill. The re-signs, I'm glad we got Greg the Leg back. I love Legatron, Greg Leg, whatever you want to call him. Chuck Clark, glad to have him back. Hope to see him play full season. I think he was dominant in Baltimore. Still, I think he's like 27, 28, so he's still younger. I like that. But Ridley's still on the board. I'd be happy to get Ridley, and that's pretty much.
Wide receiver wise, it's like starting to dry up quick. Like I like Tyler Boyd. I'd be pumped if we got that. I feel like he might want to go to Pittsburgh. That's kind of been my marching song for where I think he's gonna go. Joseph, thank you so much for the call. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Make sure you head over to Battery Bros Podcast and check out the show with Connor and Joseph. I believe they do it on Wednesdays. All right, let's go over to Zach Wilson Truther. Zach Wilson Truther, how you doing, brother?
I'm okay. I'm not panicking the way everybody else is.
I want to thank you. Your internet is beautiful. Whatever your speed is, you are coming through crystal clear.
Nice.
Sorry about that. What are your thoughts on free agency so far?
So Huff is sad. I really thought he was going to get like 5 years, 70 million, something really where I'd go, okay, like I get that we can't do that. When I saw what he went for, I kind of thought, I don't know. I feel like we kind of really should have tagged him and just gone a different way with that.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even so much the contract itself. Like the contract itself made sense for the Jets to, I think, bring him back on. But at the very least, like signing this early into free agency at least implies like there was a market for him and you fucking missed it, Joe Douglas.
Yeah, and the other thing too is when I think about free agency, it's one of the reasons I don't like JD being in a contract year and at the very least playing for his job, and I like to try and minimize dead cap and minimize money that goes in the IR because almost all of that comes from bad free agency signings. And really good teams tend to take a long view on that. And so when I look at people, I look at like Huff versus Bakhtiari because it's like, oh, where do we put the big money? And if we really think about it, I mean, who do you think is more likely to be money on the IR, dead cap? Like I think Huff is kind of a sure pick. And the thing I really don't like about it is we're betting big on McDonald. And I never saw it. I hope it works out. I don't know. I think best case scenario, he's Huff, right? And I don't know that that's going to happen.
Yeah, especially in a season that you like need to win right now. And it's maybe this is just not doubling down on a mistake they've already made. Like maybe that's the thought process we need to have on this because they already screwed it up by not re-signing him last year. They already signed it up by drafting Huff. They already signed it by like not trading him during the in season. So maybe this is just them saying like we shit the bed, now we got to sleep in it. And just hopefully it's a king size bed and that shit's on the other side of the bed and you don't have to touch it, right? Like that's what I'm hoping for. Ugh.
Yeah. I think that maybe you're right. Like when they drafted McDonald and this has been a train that has left the station. It just I hate it all the same.
Now, is there anyone out there in free agency that you're hoping the Jets are going to go after that we haven't seen like any rumblings of for like other teams interested in that player or someone that you're hoping we get our hands on?
I don't know. I'm actually trying to get the Jets away from the big free agent signing. So I'm much more interested in them being smart. I like them trading back. I try to remind people. Everyone always talks about like Breece. Breece Hall too, but Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. But I mean, Jermaine Johnson was a late first round pick, and so was Breece Hall was a second rounder. So you can get real talent by trading back. And so I think that the real challenge is they've got Rodgers. They're trying to win now, and it's so hard to build a roster quickly. But that's what we're gonna do.
I love it. Zach Wilson Truther. Do you think you'll still be a Zach Wilson Truther, or do you think he's going to get traded before we talk again?
Mac Jones went.
Too late, don't care. You're ejected from the cockpit. Zach Wilson Truther. Thank you so much for the call. Love you coming in. I've got Joe and then Henry and then Johnny on the phone. I'm going to hop over to some super chats real quick, and then we'll get to you guys on the lines. Air Rosie. Thank you so much for the super chat. Very much appreciated. It says, we need to pay the Jets tax. What offensive lineman, free agent, would want to play for this regime and Keith Carter, except for playing with Aaron Rodgers? They are rebuilding if 2024 doesn't work. Best option is trading for quality free agents. Trading for quality, I get what you're saying. Trading for quality players because they don't have a choice. And that's kind of where I fell on Garrett Bowles and Courtland Sutton. Like, I don't know if they necessarily picked the Jets right away, but if the Jets are going to make a move for it and they rework contracts and everything like that, then you got your two guys. You're locked in. Like, I'm a big fan of this. And I do think keeping Keith Carter was probably a detriment on the offensive line. Now, I will say to bring in new coaches was probably equally as risky as players wanting to sign because of the uncertainty of the regime as well. I don't know. It's frustrating, but we're going to see where we go from here. Crossfire comes in and says, JD's free agency grade thus far is an F. That's not an F. He's got Zerline. That's an A for me. Just nothing else happened. It's a weighted curve right now. I have a feeling he isn't going to do anything of significance. I have been a fan of his, but now I am thinking he needs to go. So I am not on the he needs to go train right now. I'm very fine with moving on from him after the season if things don't work out. I would say I started losing confidence in Joe Douglas last draft when he took McDonald in the first round. That was the first, note for me that was like, I don't like that. That doesn't feel right. That feels like a very odd move. But I was more on the Bryce Huff train at that point. So I wasn't a fan of that, but we'll see if he can get the ship corrected. Brian comes in with super chat. Brian says, I feel like Rodgers is singing Welcome Back from Welcome Back, Kotter. All the players he said he couldn't win with in Green Bay, painful. Right? Like, is it more of a detriment or a knock on the coaching staff in Green Bay or on the defense in Green Bay? Because he said, I couldn't win over there, but then he's like, hey, Cobby, over this way. Hey, Lazard, over this way. Hey, Nathaniel Hackett, come over here. Bakhtiari, come on down. And then we're going to get Aaron Jones. He can come on down. They're going to start doing the shuffle across the, where you lasso someone and you pull them onto the dance floor. That's Aaron Rodgers right now with all the Packers free agents. That's what's going on. I love it. I don't love it, but I love it at the same time. I like that we can recruit people. I just hope they're good players and they're not duds. Like, Dalvin Cook was such a dud signing, and I was excited for it. I didn't think we needed it, but I was excited for it. I don't know. Let's go over to Henry. Henry, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
Good. I'm excited to see what we're finally going to do with this long delay. It's been, 6 hours now? No, 9 hours. Yeah,
it's been daylight savings time, carry the one.
Yeah, dude. Hey, puppy. It's one of those things that my gut feeling is JD is setting up to make a big splash. I was on Jake's show all watching at work, so splash was the hot word there. But legitimately, make a big splash. Diontae Johnson is my major one that I'm really wanting.
I like that
I just
move.
feel like he fits Aaron Rodgers' style. I told Jake earlier, Garrett Wilson is going to be obviously the Devontae Adams. They've talked about that, ad nauseum. But I feel like Diontae Johnson could be like the Jordy Nelson, the Randall Cobb, the underneath, the easy stuff. And then obviously, no one wants to say this, but in theory, if we got Brock Bowers, then boom, everything is solidified with Brees just running behind apparently 2 O-linemen.
Yeah, I mean, we got no one. Brees has got to be pissed right now. He's like, really? I'm the guy you got to build around, and Aaron Rodgers, and you guys are out there, pussyfooting around. Now, there's still going to be some guys out there. There's Tyron Smith. There's a Bakhtiari. There's still, some pretty big names out there. Jonah Williams is still out there. Trent Brown's still out there. But you saw Robert Hunt go for $100 million.
He was the major one I wanted, but when you saw that contract, I'm like, yeah, no wonder JD. It's the whole meme right now where it's JD's oh, I'm sticking to my ways. But when you see Robert Hunt go for that much money, you're like, yeah, no wonder. You have to stick to your laurels or else you're going to pay the Panthers tax. Now it's the Panthers tax. F the Jets tax. It's Panthers tax now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder what that contract was for every other team. But he's like, oh, the Panthers, they got money to spend. And this owner's a dumb shit right now. Let's go get money from him.
It's like what Shannon Sharp said about his Cat Williams thing. Whatever you thought his original contract, 3x it. That's what the Panthers did. I don't know where they go. I mean, there's a lot of so if Diontae Johnson, what do you think the trade would have to be? Are we looking at a 4th round pick, or is it something higher than that? Are we giving up a 3rd? Yeah, because of just the disgruntledness and just because of just George Pickens, quote unquote, being the one. I do feel like the value goes down a little bit, and then especially with what Jerry Jeudy got, I don't think that JD would offer too much more. But Deontay's way better than Jerry Jeudy, so I would be fine with a 4th. I love your idea of Sutton, and then if we had to do a pick swap, it's not ideal because of our trauma from last year, but if we had to do a pick swap, we know for sure with the depth of the O-line versus last year,
that's what I was going to say.
If we went down a couple spots, it's not going to be the end of the world whereas last year. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Diontae, fingers crossed. Alt, there's rumblings that he could drop to 10. So
there are. I like it. I will hopefully. Henry, thank you so much.
You're out of here.
Cheers to you too, brother. Very much appreciate the call. Boys and girls, if you'd like to call in, you can scan the QR code. We're going to go for a little bit longer. I do know Green Bean is going to be doing his 10 o'clock mock. If you guys want to go over and do some mock draft stuff, you can head over to his channel. I'm going to do a little bit more call-ins because we got the call-ins going right now. You guys are ripping the chat. Feel like we got some momentum going right here. Let's go over to Johnny. Johnny, how you doing tonight, brother?
What's going on, man? How you holding up?
I'm all right. Look, a very lackluster first day of free agency, but that's
kind of okay. We've won the offseason multiple times before, and it doesn't necessarily bode well for us all the time.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not like a whole bunch of people are pounding the table to fire JD. Like, what is he doing? Man, let them trim all the fat that they need and let us get the real good pieces that are going to fit for us and it's going to make the line get full and all that. I'm not worried, man. You know, I think we're going to be all right. Look, I think Bakhtiari is going to come on over. It's happening. I mean, they're already pretty much saying it without saying it.
I looked out my window the other day and I put on my binoculars and I saw Aaron Rodgers and Bakhtiari carving their name with a heart on a tree, their initials. Like I saw it. It was there. It's basically like ironclad at this point. He's got to be a Jet.
And then Bakhtiari is talking to Aaron Jones.
Yep.
That too. I mean, Aaron Jones behind Brees, I'll take it all day, right? And I mean, let's just solidify the line in the draft, and we should be fine, man. I mean, there's still some free agents that are out there. I think the biggest splash, man, I got the only feeling that it's going to be T. Higgins.
Ooh,
and we're all going to be like, holy, like, made it happen.
Now, what do you think that deal would have to be? Because if it were me, if I'm the Panthers and I have 2 second-round picks now, I'm throwing one of those at the Panthers or at the Bengals to try and get Higgins down with those guys down in the Panthers with Bryce Young. I don't know. I don't know if the Jets are going to be able to offer enough.
I don't know, man. I mean,
we'd probably have to trade down. It would probably have to be like a 10 for 18. Like that's what it would have. And I don't love that. That doesn't make me feel good.
I don't know, man. I just think he's going to work his magic and he's going to get it however it needs to happen for it to happen for us,
You are
and it would
far
be
more optimistic than I think you should be. I want you to know that right now. I love it, but like I am nowhere near as optimistic as you are right now. And I'm like pretty optimistic on some points.
And I'm just trying to throw something out there that I think would be like, holy crap. And I don't know, man. I'm just waiting for the season. I want Aaron Rodgers already to be here.
So let's throw something out there. What do we got?
Yeah, throw something. Look, DK Metcalf might become a Jet too out of nowhere. And dude, nobody would expect.
That would be nice. I feel like of all the players that could get traded, I don't know if DK is going to be the one. But I guess if Seattle's looking to come up and make a move, he's the type of player I would trade down for. Like I don't think I would trade down for Higgins. I would trade down for DK. DK's a freak of an animal.
Yeah, he really is, man. So we'll see, bro. We'll keep doing your thing, man.
Too much confidence, Johnny. You're ejected. Get out of here. Do not pass go. Do not collect $300, $200. What's the monopoly line? Do not collect $200. That's all right. Johnny, we love you. We got Sonny from Long Island coming up. Sonny, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Ryan. How you doing, man?
Hanging in there. How you feeling about this maybe slower free agent start we got going on?
Not very good. I'm nowhere near as confident as Johnny is. I mean, I don't know, but what receiver do you think they end up going after, Ryan? I don't see T. Higgins as a real option.
I agree.
I don't see any of these top tier guys. I mean, the majority of them have gotten re-signed by their teams. I mean, what do they trade the future away for Adams maybe?
See, I don't even think Adams gets moved. I feel like for me, it's a Courtland Sutton trade or a Deontay Johnson trade or like a Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, either trade or they get cut and then we try to bring them in. Or the Jets are just looking at like purely the discount wide receiver market because they like Garrett Wilson as the one. They signed Lazard to be, a major part of this offense. And even though he was bad last year, they think Aaron Rodgers, you're going to be here. Like adding a weapon may not mean adding a number 2 wide receiver. I don't know.
Garrett Wilson is not enough there. I think we all know that. We legitimately got one receiver on the team. This stems back from last year's draft. Not saying that JSN would have been the savior if they took him over Will McDonald, but it would have been another young receiver going in the year 2. But to get off a receiver for a minute, I knew we were going to lose Huff, but it was still heartbreaking to see it. He got a really fat contract with the Eagles. I mean, it's sort of like my nightmare playing out here. We're seeing now that we're losing a piece or two on defense, and an area where our strength was, it's getting picked away at, and on offense we're just hearing crickets now.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to make out like what's going on with the Jets. Like I don't want to see the 5-year $100 million deal for Hunt. Like I would not have endorsed that. You know, maybe a Brewer signing, but like I've always felt like McGovern's coming back. Like I think McGovern's going to be our center next year. I think Bakhtiari is going to be our left tackle, and I think it's honestly going to be Bakhtiari with Warren backing him up, AVT at left guard, McGovern center, Tittman right guard, and then whoever number 10 is at the right tackle. Right. Just my gut feeling.
I mean, I guess we can live with that. It isn't the worst.
Risky. It's like playing on that knife's edge by doing that. I think.
Right. It's kind of razor thin. If one of those guys go down, it's over.
Sonny, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. We've got Joe and then Jake coming up. But first, let me hop over to Super Chat. Forever Ron says, I'd take Bakhtiari and Jones to start things up, but we need a lot more than that. Let's see how it plays out at the end. Let's effing go Jets. So I'm a Bakhtiari fan. I'm rolling the dice on this leg being all right, and then AVT being the panic, tackle at that point. And I'm still taking the tackle at 10. I want the tackle at 10 because I don't think, based on how our free agency has gone, there's no way the Jets are solving this heading into the draft where they can go after like a Bowers or something along those lines. So super frustrating across the board. But hey, you know what? I like Bakhtiari. I like Jones. I'd be on board with either one of them. You just have to not have guaranteed money tied up with them. Like with Bakhtiari, you need a good backup. And with Jones, I just don't want to see a lot of guaranteed money. All right, boys and girls, we're going to go to the phone lines. But before we do, I want to thank the sponsor of the channel, 𝐻𝐿. If you guys want to check out some good edibles, good seltzers, let me tell you what. The 50 milligram shotguns, wild. I don't even know why I call them shotguns. You're not shotgunning this thing. 12 servings in this can. You want to feel good. That's one way to do it. The other thing you can do, boom, gummies. 25 milligram gummies. They got more than that too. Over at 𝐻𝐿. Link in the description down below. Use my code JetsTalk247. Nope, sorry. Code is JetsTalk for 25% off. You'd think I'd know that code a little bit more by heart now, but I don't. Screwed it up. That's all right. 𝐻𝐿 down below in the description. Let's go back to the phone lines. We got Joe joining the show. Joe, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well, Ryan. How are you?
You just like every free agent period starts, and then there's like this tenseness of the Jets haven't done anything, or they've signed things, and I'm not happy. And I feel like Jet fans just love being pissed off all the time. What are your thoughts on free agency? How do you feel about the Jets' maybe lack of moves in day one?
It's it's a little frustrating because it's just so unsatisfying seeing all these guys go, and the Jets, the glaring need is the line, and they haven't addressed it yet.
Twiddling thumbs, just not doing anything, just waiting. What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in my senior year, and I'm in class refreshing Twitter all day, and it's just I'm like, come on already.
My wife's got to be sick of me. She's just like, you're not helping with the kids today. You're sitting on streams. You're refreshing Twitter nonstop. It's like, I'm sorry. This is 3 days. This is a 3-day stretch. It's like holiday season. It's like 3 days of the draft. Holiday season. Sorry. Ryan's checked out.
I just I feel that I don't want all of Aaron Rodgers' goons on the Jets. It's just.
So you're not a Bakhtiari fan, not an Aaron Jones fan? Want to steer clear of them?
Well, I don't. Right. It's like. I don't want Aaron Jones.
Well, okay, those are all right, right? Is that what you're about to tell me right now?
No, Bakhtiari. I mean, I just don't trust he'll be healthy, and I don't want Aaron Jones to be another Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I feel like fresh legs are so much better than drafting. Not I don't want to say bringing in a has-been running back, but you can get me Frank Gore Jr. in the 6th round or something like that. I would I would prefer that over Aaron Jones. And then with Bakhtiari, I just feel like the well's going to run dry on us anyway. And I think Bakhtiari just makes the most sense. I think he's the most likely to be attracted to New York. I don't know if I see Tyron Smith coming here without paying like a massive contract. I don't want to say massive, but like a bigger contract too. Maybe if he signs somewhere else for a lower deal, I'll eat my words. But I feel like Bakhtiari just has made the most sense based on the maybe lack of desirability that the Jets offensive line has and just his best buddy being Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I've seen on Twitter, like, some people don't want Tyron Smith, but I mean, he's worth it for as much for the 14, 13 games he'll play. I mean, when he plays, he's dominant.
Well, that's the same thing with Bakhtiari. The only thing is Bakhtiari's played like 14 games over 3 years, which is like, I get it's concerning, but like if the whole knee having water on it or whatever, I guess for me, it depends. Are you bringing in Bakhtiari now or are you bringing Bakhtiari in a month from now? Like, how fast does this transaction have to happen? Is it like, hey, he's cut, like, we got to do Aaron Rodgers' buddy a solid right now and bring him on, and then it's like, we slow roll it? Or is it going to be something that's like, you sign him in like a month and, before the draft, just before the draft, boom. Right when we pulled the trigger for the Rodgers trade, maybe they make a move before the draft and something happens like that. I don't know. Yeah. Joe, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, boys and girls, we're going to go to Jake from State Farm. Jake, how you doing, brother?
Not bad, man. How you hanging in? How you holding up with the lack of I don't know, Sleepy Joe not doing anything?
Yeah, look, I guess I'm more. I don't want to say the word irritated, but it's more of like I thought there would be a little bit more, maybe effort or like alarmedness of hey, my job's on the line. Like I got to go do shit.
You're irritated. You're irritated.
Yeah, but at the same time, like I don't want $100 million contract for Robert Hunt. Like there's certain things that are like that's Looney Tunes. I don't want to do that. So like,
that was just over. Listen, Carolina's not going to get anything without overpaying. They have no choice. That's like us, like a few years ago with like McHagnon. Yes. It's the same story.
Completely agree.
I see where they're coming from, and also David Tepper is just screwing that franchise up day by day anyway. But although I like Canales, I think Canales is actually may have hope, but we'll see with Bryce Young. But look, right now, I mean, look, I wanted John Runyon. I don't know how on earth Rodgers going to get John Runyon to come here.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I really don't.
Mm-hmm. I'm shocked that happened. That was what, 3 years, $30 million?
Yeah.
Or was it 1 year, $10
million a year? Plus his father was a congressman in Jersey. You would think maybe he'd have some affiliation and want him to come to Jersey anyway. So
the Giants practice in Jersey too. They're right next to the stadium. It's basically the same thing. It's like, hey, look, I get to go out to dinner with Aaron Rodgers, but I don't have to be on his team. Like maybe that's what he's feeling. Jerk.
I don't know. And it's a point now. Also, like I mean, Bakhtiari's and everyone's talking about, but he's like it's like. I've said this already. It's like Mekhi Becton. Like within 10 years, he's just completely breaking down. Except Mekhi Becton already started breaking down. So I'm just not. This is not an off season. I want risky players. I don't want players with risk. Now, if Bakhtiari wants to come in for a 1 year non-guaranteed contract and he's like a Randall Cobbish kind of guy for the line, great, fine. I'm fine. He can do that. We need depth. But right now, like for example, like even taking guys like Oshanu, who just got hurt in the combine. I'm not taking him. I'm not taking anybody who's a risk to go down. You have to get guys.
That was a hamstring? Is that right? I
believe so. That's a problem. That's a problem because he's now going to rush his workouts to get back on the field. He's got to get ready to go to do pro days. How's he going to do his pro days?
You don't think the hamstring will be fixed? Like even if it's pulled in his pro day, you don't think it's going to be better by the time training camp rolls around?
I just think right now, like Flaga's going up the list. I think a lot more people are going to want him. The Jets should do everything in their power to get Joe Alt. Like they really need to do everything. And I said this from that stupid Redskin game we won. I'm like, great guys. So congratulations. You just screwed your shot at Joe Alt at an easier way. But here's
a massive trade down.
Here's a name. This is not offensive line, but here's a name just because everyone's been talking about T. Higgins, which we're not doing. I think that's
not
asinine.
happening.
The name that I don't think we're talking enough about, maybe it was in this group, whatever, is Keenan Allen. I think Keenan Allen makes a lot of sense because right now the Chargers, I think Herbie wants some young guys, Romeo Duns, Harbaugh watched him play in the national championship. He knows what kind of receiver is. He's what I think Chris Olave should have been. They're stuck with Mike Williams' contract, and where Keenan Allen's at the end of his deal, they need
Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, they both can be cut for $20 million savings. And they drafted Quentin Johnston last year, which I feel like is closer to a Mike Williams type of draft pick, like replacement. And I don't even like Quentin Johnson. I don't think he's a good player.
He's a bust. He's a bust.
And with Mike Evans' injury or Mike Williams' injury history, I feel like he's probably gone. If Keenan Allen becomes an option, if you can get him and you could sign him to like a 2-year Band-Aid type contract, like, because I think he's got 1 year left on his deal. If you can, maneuver the contract, I would look at that. That would be something I'd be interested in for sure. I think he's really good.
I think he's worthy of being that kind of player because he'll give you that solid number 2. You don't have to invest the high draft pick in. I think coming to the draft now, because the way things are going now, unless they're going to get Tyron Smith or I'm not crazy about getting him either. I think we're screwed right now in free agency with the line. I think in the draft you're going to have to start talking about 2025 draft picks. I think they have no choice now, but they have to start investing in getting a veteran that wants to come here, or maybe he's like a year away and he's not going to get paid, and the Jets get a good deal for him. I just think right now, unless they're going to trade down in the first, which they can, because they got to get one of these linemen, they're going to have to start using 2025 draft picks, like a second round pick, and have to they have to take a swing at something here. They have to. This is not a good look right now. It's not.
Jake, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. All right, boys and girls, we got 400 people in here at this point. If you guys can hit that like button, we only got 200 likes on the video. Go a long way towards supporting the channel. I see Anthony in the chat just said that Joe Mixon just got released. That's an interesting one. I don't particularly like the personality so much of Joe Mixon. He's one of those guys that got in a little bit of trouble as well. Interesting player. I want more of like a thumper behind Breece Hall because Izzy's not really that. So I want cloud of dust and you get 1 yard. That's the type of running back I'm kind of looking for now. And I don't know if Mixon is that. All right, let's go over to Anthony D. Let's see how Anthony D is doing tonight. Anthony, how you doing, brother?
I'm not doing as good as you, Ryan.
Oh, no.
You're very happy, and I had to get out of the chat to call you to ask you, why are you so happy, young man?
I am always happy. I am a far more optimistic than pessimistic person. And I'll be honest, there's not really the only deal that happened today that I was like irked with. I shouldn't say the only deal. There was 2. I didn't like John Runyon going to the Giants instead of the Jets. And I didn't like Bryce Huff going to the Eagles. I thought the Jets should have been able to sign him for that, or at least tag him and trade him. The fact that he got signed immediately as soon as free agency started, that tells me all I need to know in terms of what his trade value could have been at. But overall, I've been saying I think it's going to be Bakhtiari at left tackle. And I think AVT is going to be a right tackle. Or we're going to draft our right tackle at 10. That's what I think our offensive line from left to right, Bakhtiari, AVT, McGovern, Tippmann, Fuaga, in that order. That's what it's going to wind up being.
Okay, let's take them one at a time.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not even going to get into when they started talking to the agents and whatever, but we went into free agency with 3 spots and an unsure spot with AVT because of their nonsense.
Sure.
Okay. If you bring in Bakhtiari, right, and you fill 2 other spots, you still have to bring in somebody else just for Bakhtiari.
Well, I think the plan for Bakhtiari would be you're starting at left tackle behind Rodgers. We're going to hope that Carter Warren develops behind you in a year or whatever it is. If you get hurt, then we're going to hope Warren can fill in. If Warren is not up for the task right now, AVT is our break glass in case of emergency tackle. Like, I don't really want AVT at right tackle because of if he's at right tackle, then you don't have that like break glass situation with Bakhtiari. I want to draft our tackle at 10 and have AVT as the we need a fix now tackle. That would be my preference if they were to go do it. I think Bakhtiari is a much higher ceiling than anyone we're going to be able to bring in.
Not higher than Smith?
I think it's about the same. I think they're like two. I think they're 2 players of the same coin. Like, I think Bakhtiari was the best tackle in all of football for multiple years, and even when like the few games he was healthy for, he was still like arguably a top 5 tackle in all those games. And then Smith, same sort of thing, but he winds up missing. He hasn't played a full season since 2015, so like it's the same type of injuries, and you're just hoping that the injury from Bakhtiari is actually fixed, and it's not this like consistently nagging injury.
I just can't with Joe, and I'm trying to stay positive, but yeah.
It sounds like you need some Crescent Canna, brother. Hit up the description below for 25% off. Anthony D, you've been ejected from the cockpit. We've got Frank the Tank joining the show, but I want to hop over to Brian real quick. Brian says, name a GM that would take Rodgers from us. Right now, Aaron Rodgers, coming off an Achilles, probably not the highest trade value, if I'm going to be honest, but you're saying would take Rodgers from us. Look, first and foremost, I don't want to give up Rodgers. No, I don't care. I don't care that we're like slightly sort of in position to take a quarterback at 10. No, I want Rodgers because he said 2 or 3 or 4 more years, and Rodgers at 2 or 3 or 4 more years at 75% of whatever Rodgers was is 100% better than everything we've had for the last 5 years. So I very much, I don't want to see him gone. I would be irritated if we wind up moving off of someone like Aaron Rodgers. Brian Anderson, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's head over to Frank the Tank. Frank, how you doing, brother?
Hey, what's up, Ryan? How you doing?
I can't really hear you. Can you talk up a little bit?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're just really low. Let me see if there's like a...
Sorry, let me see. Is it better if I put my mouth closer to the mic?
Yeah, that'll work. I can turn up your volume on this end a little bit. All right, let's try.
All right. Hey, just want to say I'm a big fan of the channel, and
Thank you.
Just want to remind all Jet fans to try to stay calm, man. We usually hit big on free agency on the first day, and history tells us it didn't pan out the way we usually would like it to. So trying something different in this approach, waiting, can't be the worst things. We still have options out there. I think the smart thing to do is looking for the right fits instead of trying to force and signing the big name free agents out there.
So do you think Bakhtiari is like the most likely situation at tackle, or is there someone else out there that you would like the Jets to kind of maneuver towards?
To be honest, it has to be Bakhtiari, just off of the relationship between him and Aaron Rodgers, even going back to during the season, Aaron Rodgers still tagging him in all his photos.
Oh yeah, the picture of Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers walking away, and he tags Devontae Adams, and then on his butt is Bakhtiari.
Exactly. So I'm pretty sure Aaron Rodgers is preaching to Joe Douglas that that's his guy and that's who he wants. And I think at the end of the day, what our quarterback is comfortable with is, what works best for the offense. So I wouldn't be mad at it. We just need some kind of insurance, just in case if he does get hurt. It's kind of the same thing if we were to sign, Tyron Smith. He has a injury history as well. So either one of those guys.
And I feel like if you're looking at the two of them, like if you're going to sign one of Tyron Smith or Bakhtiari, it feels like it's got to be Bakhtiari.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way too. Especially quarterback's blind side, there's a lot of trust that goes between the left tackle and the quarterback. So, I think if Bakhtiari was to be healthy, it'll pay dividends in the long run. But it'll be interesting to see how everything pans out. I would just try to preach patience and, let's grade the end result instead of what's going on in the process. Because like I said, Le'Veon Bell hasn't worked out for us. There's been a lot of guys that haven't worked out for us. So
I was very excited.
I would just stay patient.
I was gonna say, I was very, very excited for Le'Veon Bell. That was actually the first live stream that I ever did, was when Le'Veon Bell signed. I was like, we got to get him, help your young quarterback. And it totally blew up in my damn face.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody was excited. Thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Oh, man. I love ejecting people. And sometimes it feels like it's a premature ejaculation. But that's okay. It's okay. We'll get through this together. Boys and girls, it is 10:30, so I'm going to hop off this stream right now. I am exhausted. I've been going all day. I will be back here tomorrow, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock with Green Bean and O'Leary. Going to be talking some Jets over on the Talking Jets channel. I can't wait to hear what has or has not happened at that point. I want to hear from you guys, see how that goes. Hopefully, if stuff tomorrow goes well, if Ren goes for a nap, then maybe I'll have her in here. We'll do a little nap session. and I'll be able to go live. But I'm daddy duty tomorrow, so maybe not so much. You might get more mobile uploads tomorrow because of maybe a little more dad stuff going on. But all right, boys and girls, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you tonight. This is Jets Talk, signing off. JETS.
One, two, three.